Hey everybody, this is James. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing, as the slide tells you. I'm joined today with Adam Bowen, the VP of Business Development at JobNimbus. And I've also got Michelle Copenal on the line as well, who's the marketing manager here at Leap. So excited to get this thing kicked off. I see there's quite a few people joining in, so we'll wait just a couple minutes, probably 1 or 2 minutes before we really kick this thing off. Keep in mind as we go through this, on the right-hand side, if you're new to GoToWebinar, really make a point of throwing in your questions into the questions area. There's both a questions and a chat field. We're not really going to use the chat field a ton, but we will 100% be reviewing and monitoring that question section. So we do have specialists from both the Leap team as well as the JobNimbus team here. So we'll pull those things in as we go along. If there's any questions that are directly relevant to the slides that we're covering, we'll 100% answer those right away. If not, we have a dedicated Q&A section at the end of this that, again, both teams have specialists and we can answer any questions that you possibly have. Keep in mind too, we're also going to drop a quick poll in the polls section, which should be right below questions. So keep an eye out for that. You will see that pop up in just a slide or two. So again, we'll wait just 1 more minute and we'll get started promptly at 2:05. Thank you, guys. All right, I know I said 2:05, but I think we're going to get everybody that we're getting today. Should be able to kick this thing straight off. Moving along, feel free again, if no one can see this or if my audio cuts out or anything like that, don't wait. Just drop that question or drop that into the question section. Hey, I can't hear you, or hey, I can't see this. So stop me as I go along. I get really excited about these things and I talk a lot. So, all right, moving on. Made our introduction to you guys. Today is really exciting for us. This is the formal and official launch that we're doing with our newest partner here at Leap, JobNimbus. Again, I'm joined by Adam Bowen, the VP of Sales and Development, Business Development at JobNimbus. Really pumped about this. We've been talking with these guys for a while. We've had a lot of our customers asking for this, and we couldn't be more thrilled. The more we've worked with their teams over the last couple weeks and months, the more we've gotten excited about it. It's two really cool tech partners coming together, and frankly, it's truly created one of the strongest partnerships and usable partners that we've had to date as a business. So couldn't be more thrilled. Adam, on your end, if you want to chime in and say a couple words, feel free. I will shut up for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everyone. This is Adam Bowen speaking from the JobNimbus side. We also will echo what James just said. Super excited about the partnership with Leap. We'll go into more details on why this is so exciting for both of us in just a minute, but I think you'll be really excited about the possibilities of this integration.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. So let's get rocking, everybody. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to discuss today. So first and foremost, again, we wanted to announce the partnership. Again, this is the formal launch of all of this. We've been in beta testing with a couple different customers, just really working out all the kinks with the integration. The JobNimbus team has been unbelievable when it comes to pinpointing all the ways in which we can make this a much more seamless integration, meaning all your data is pointed in the right directions. Our API keys are all ironed out and they're functioning the way they need to. The other thing we want to do is we're going to turn this over to the JobNimbus team in just a little bit to truly understand a little bit more about the platform, talk a little bit about their organization, how the tool works. But the real idea behind today's webinar is just talking about why we create partnerships like this from the get-go, why we even go down this road. I mean, some company or some people out there would consider us competitors. We're here to talk to you today about why we decided to join forces more than anything. That should give you a really cool insight into both of the tools. Really, at the end of the day, the most important thing that we want you guys to get out of this is if you're not currently using one or the other, or if you're using one and not the other, this is designed to show you how the two, when paired together, are going to take you guys to a whole new level. So ultimately, we'd love to have you demo both products, see exactly how this can affect your business. Both of our sales teams are really well equipped to give you guys full deep dives into the actual tools themselves. So we'll go through a little bit about Leap and why we chose this partner with JobNimbus. We'll give the mic to JobNimbus. They'll talk about the same. We'll then dive into our little bit of our product to show you what that flow of data looks like across the systems. And then lastly, like I mentioned, we've got some really cool tech staff on the line. We really want to dive into some of the Q&A and answer your questions because this is all about you guys. So without further ado, Michelle is actually going to drop a poll into the poll section. Do us a favor, tell us who you guys are currently using right now. If you're using Leap, throw Leap down. If you're using JobNimbus, throw JobNimbus. If you're using both, awesome, you're way ahead of the game. Click both, and if you're using none, all good, don't worry about it. This just really helps us get an understanding of who's on the line. That way we can really gear this thing to both. All right, so I'll give you guys just a couple seconds to fill all this stuff out. Thank you guys for being so quick to vote on this. Really appreciate it. It gives us a ton of ways to customize and cater this. So I'm gonna wait just a couple more seconds and we will keep the momentum. All right, looks like 85%. Come on, that 15 that's just sitting there. All right, looks like they've muted us. But, all right, cool. So let's keep rocking. Oh, we got up to 87. Thank you. Oh, 89. That would be amazing if 100% would do this, but statistically speaking, that will likely never happen. So thank you again, you guys. Really appreciate it. We'll go ahead and call it there. Awesome. It looks like we had a lot of JobNimbus users, a lot of Leap users, and then we even got some that aren't using either. So excited. We've got a healthy mix with us today. So moving along, let's keep things going. Again, we really want to stress the importance of why we create these partnerships at the beginning. Leap has a really strong partner network, but again, when it comes to JobNimbus, it's really core for us to understand why we choose partners. And really, at the end of the day, it's the needs of our customers. Like we've heard from a number of JobNimbus users on our platform that, hey, we really want you guys to integrate. Some of them actually went as far as building custom integrations to make it work for them. This was just an opportunity for us to extend that to so many other users. And again, JobNimbus has a really impressive network of businesses using their software. This is just an opportunity for us to layer in and help share some of the best practices that we've seen with our existing customers that use Leap and JobNimbus. So for future webinars, we're also going to be hosting and highlighting some of those best practices to show you the ways in which our power users use these. So again, without further ado, it's showing why do we choose them. We want to make sure that our customers are just geared for success no matter what tools they decide to use. So that's really how we start with this. CRMs, on the other hand, CRMs drive a massively important part of the business. My title includes both sales and marketing. Marketing is something that every single one of you focus on. I think the statistic is most home improvement companies are spending upwards of 10 to 15% of gross revenue on their actual marketing efforts. So if you're trying to generate leads, it costs a hell of a lot of money. So if you're not actively managing those leads from beginning to end, which frankly, that is what a CRM was built to do. That is the bread and butter of that software. Customer relationship management tool. So when you look at why we personally partner with CRMs, and we'll go into this a little bit later in the presentation, but CRMs, as they ingest your leads, are really apt to be layered in with that point of purchase software like Leap. So when you generate the lead and it's worked through, say, your call center, or you qualify it, the in-home sales process is totally different. It's its own unique beast. Your guys are working their butts off going to these homes to convey the value proposition of your organizations, really, work with those homeowners to try and get them through that purchasing decision. And then from there, it's got to get back into that CRM. Otherwise, it's a real pain to manage that all the way through install. So that's why we've really decided to lean on partners like JobNimbus to make sure that our customers have both of those worlds covered. Not only managing what's so expensive to create your leads, it's also making sure that you have the tools on site in the home to sell them and convert them. So moving forward, we got to ask ourselves, why JobNimbus? I mean, there's a lot of CRMs out there, but the reality is, and again, for a lot of you who actively use JobNimbus, you know this. They're not all created equal. I guarantee everyone on this call has probably had demos from multiple systems. I'd love if someone in the question section, drop in there. If you're not using JobNimbus, what are some of the systems that you are using? It'd be really cool to see what's out there. But what we'd also love to say in this is there's a reason why we chose these guys. They're highly innovative. You guys, Leap in itself, we are a standalone in the industry. There's not a single other person that's built an app native into an iPad to really fuel those sales teams. Like, no one else does that. So when you look at a tech forward company like ours, when we saw their platform, we started drooling. It's so exciting to see what they've built. The user interface is just clean and concise. Everything is very logical. There's a lot of CRMs out there that are exceedingly clunky, and if you don't have a developer on staff full time, good luck using it. So again, JobNimbus for us is a super tech forward company. We serve a very similar audience. What their customers sell, our customers sell. So it was a match made in heaven. And then at the end of the day too, like, again, we would take a bullet for our customers. And frankly, everything that we've seen from the JobNimbus team shows that they would do the same. They're willing to put pride and everything else aside and say, hey, we've built the most badass CRM to date. Let's layer in and learn from those that have built the other functions as good as possible. And let's partner with them and grow our organizations together. So again, at the end of the day, that is why we chose JobNimbus. That's why we're here today. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm long-winded, so I'm going to shut up and hand it over to Adam. Adam, take it away. I'll let you guys do this. I will be the nerd running the projector. And if you guys need anything, again, feel free to drop your questions in the question section and we'll keep this thing going.
All right. Well, thank you very much, James. I appreciate all the kind words. We're equally as excited as the Leap team is to be involved in this partnership, because we recognize the value that it's going to create for our customers. I think, James alluded to this a little bit earlier, but there is some crossover between the two companies, the two platforms, but I think that there's more value together than there is apart. JobNimbus has always had or approached the market from the standpoint that we recognize that we do a lot of things really, really well. But at the end of the day, we also recognize that there are a lot of great tools out there. And so one thing that we hang our hat on is partnering with who we see as some of the best of the best, who are focusing on really niche features that a lot of our customers are already using, and integrating with them so that our customers can continue to use those products and have a seamless experience between the two companies, between the two platforms. So we recognize that that Leap offers something that we don't really focus on. It's really about closing deals. So yeah, go ahead and jump ahead. Let me talk a little bit about who JobNimbus is. We've been around for about 6 years now. The company was started by 3 serial tech entrepreneurs who recognized that this industry really was underserved. There was an opportunity to implement technology into the contractor space and specifically into the roofer industry helping all of you to not only manage your contacts, which is what a traditional CRM does, but also take that one step further and manage your jobs from start to finish. So at the end of the day, we have positioned JobNimbus, we've built JobNimbus as a tool for roofers to be able to manage every single facet of their business from start to finish. I'll throw out a rhetorical question for all of you, and you don't necessarily need to answer, but imagine, think about the number of times you've thought to yourself or complained to yourself or somebody else, gosh, I let this job fall through the cracks. I mismanaged a customer relationship. I didn't do as good of a job as I possibly could have because it was hard for me to manage all of the stuff that was going on from a day-to-day perspective in my business. These are common questions that we hear all the time, or common laments that we hear all of the time. And this is exactly what JobNimbus is designed to do. It helps you track your sales, your jobs, all of your tasks, your communication. And oh, by the way, you can also do this in the field with a mobile app to boot. Imagine all of the times that you've got sales staff that's out in the field, or production staff that's on site, communicating back and forth, logging all of those communications, making sure that everybody knows everything that's going on with that job at a moment's notice at all times. That's what JobNimbus is all about. It streamlines, it connects, and it ultimately helps you to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks with your contacts and your jobs. So let's jump ahead one more. So we're going to take a minute here and show you a slick little video that we put together that I think that you'll enjoy, that highlights really the core features of the product and how contractors are using it to manage their businesses more effectively. So James, let it roll.
JobNimbus empowers you and your team to take control and grow your business. Track your leads using the web or mobile apps and move them through your process. Boards give you 20/20 vision of your entire sales and production pipelines. See how your jobs are progressing, which jobs are taking too long, and what's holding them up so you can fix it and get paid. Say goodbye to jobs falling through the cracks. JobNimbus also keeps communication lines open, increasing productivity so your team works together better than ever before. Just mention someone in a note or assign them a job or task, and they'll be notified right away. Sales and crews can see everything on their list for the day using the mobile app, while saving pictures at the job site, keeping notes, and completing tasks. All along the way, JobNimbus is working for you, emailing your customers with status updates, moving jobs forward automatically, and helping you know that everything is running smoothly. Build accurate estimates in seconds using saved templates and exact pricing from your suppliers. Convert your estimates into material orders to send directly to Beacon or other suppliers. Then with another click, your estimate becomes an invoice for your client. When the job is done, you can collect payments right from the app, and JobNimbus can even ask for a review to attract even more customers. On average, companies save 8 hours per week per employee when they have JobNimbus on their team. With JobNimbus, you'll empower your team to sell more, work more efficiently, scale with everything under control, and enable your business to grow.
All right, cool. Hand it back over to Adam.
Cool. Yeah, jump ahead one. Awesome. So you just saw a couple of or a handful of some of what we consider to be our highlighted features in the platform. But really, when it all comes down to it, I think the most compelling piece of JobNimbus is the results that it generates. We've done lots of polls and surveys with our customers, and on average, our customers have reported average revenue growth of 43% when they've started using JobNimbus. In addition to that, like you heard in the video, on average of 8 hours per employee saved per week, and also 25% more payments collected. Imagine what that could do for your company. I mean, this is really, really significant stuff. Um, it's all about not only being able to manage more business, but to be able to do it at scale, not having to add to your headcount or to your operating expenses, because you become more efficient, you become more effective at what you're doing, you save time, and can juggle way more things at the same time. Jump ahead. So to piggyback on what James was saying, I mean, we had to think about the exact same thing, or we had to go through the exact same exercise of, we always have to when we decide on who we partner with in the industry. Leap is a pretty unique offering in our opinion. At the end of the day, it really does help you close more deals, and allows you to then take all of that information that you use to close that deal and pass it back to JobNimbus. One of the coolest things about JobNimbus is, again, it helps you to coordinate, organize, put all of your information, assets, reports, pictures, everything in one place that's easily identifiable, easily organized, easily archived, and referenceable in the future. So this is one thing that we think is really important when working with Leap. Not only does it help you close more deals at the end of the day, but it helps you to then organize and keep track of all of those materials that you use to close that deal. So let's jump ahead one more. Now we'll talk a little bit about, or we'll show you actually what this flow looks like in just a second here. But essentially what the integration is going to do is, imagine you have all of your lead information, your contact information in JobNimbus. Your marketing tools are pushing all of that information into JobNimbus, into your CRM. Leap needs that information, both the contact information, addresses, phone numbers, etc., but also the appointment information that you've set up through JobNimbus. That gets ported over to Leap, so that those sales reps have that information in their own app for when they're in the field, so that they don't drop any balls. They can go through their entire sales process. Again, we'll show this in just a second if you've never seen Leap, but having your pitch book and all of your information, your brochures, product information, and so on in your instance of Leap. You'll be able to create measurements using some of their partnerships with companies like Hover and EagleView, and then create estimates to be able to show those homeowners that you're meeting with in the home, and then create those contracts to be able to close the deal, right? So you have all of this material that you've created within Leap. You can then push that back into JobNimbus with a couple of clicks, and that gets logged at the contact record or at the job record. So you no longer have to worry about juggling documents in different places, trying to remember where it's archived or where it's stored. You can automatically push that there and make sure that everything is clear, and you can find it in one place in the future. So let's go ahead and jump one more. So really what I want to get across here is the core bottom line of our partnership with Leap is we recognize that Leap is going to help you close more deals. That's what they do. That's their core competence. That's what they do really, really well. And we recognize that, and we want to leverage that. They're going to push those deals into JobNimbus, and then JobNimbus is going to take it from there and help you manage everything from that deal closure to things like material ordering, to invoicing, to communicating with your customers, to warranties. The list goes on and on and on to make sure that you're managing that job in an effective way and creating the best possible customer experience, and ultimately helping you to get paid. So let's jump ahead one more. With that, I think we'll go ahead and pass the baton back over to James, and he'll walk us through what this integration looks like.
Awesome, thanks, Adam. So as Adam mentioned, you guys, it's our forte is that in-home sales process. So it's taking the lead that you guys have input into JobNimbus that you worked so hard to create. You've qualified that with the call center. And at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you guys through, and these are basically just screen shares. And this is, keep in mind, we're talking stratospherically high level view of what Leap does. Typically when we take someone through a demo, it takes like 45 minutes just because it's so intricate and it's so capable. We've had a lot of questions, and I'll use this as just a quick one to answer two specific ones. You know, somebody asked, is this solely for roofing? You know, and the reality is we have companies that are selling anything and everything under the sun in the home improvement or the home services industry. So from chimney sweeps to HVAC to roofing, windows, siding, doors. We've actually got another one of our partners on the call, Joe from Provia. Like, again, their windows and doors have another direct integration into this. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this. There's literally somebody who asked us the other day, can I use this to sell meat out of the back of my truck? And the reality is, the answer is yes. It doesn't matter what you guys are selling when it comes down to how you sell it. When you're face-to-face in the home with a customer, you need to have a tool that allows you to not only educate them on what you're selling, but show how you walk through the process with your digital measurements, you know, other tools like Hover and Eagle View, which again, we'll go through in just a sec, taking it all the way through contracts, proposals, the whole 9 yards. So without further ado, let's dive in and show you some of the screenshots. So again, this would be an example of what your lead record would look like once it was in JobNimbus. I've got everything that I need to here. Now I effectively need to see what this looks like in Leap, which is this screen, when it gets passed to my rep. So your reps in the field, if you look up in the top left corner next to the Leap logo, there's that little refresh button. You know, in order to get your reps appointments, they have to click that refresh button. That's what's going to auto-populate and sync in anything that was done in JobNimbus. It's also making sure that any information that you've updated at the home office, your pricing, any new or discontinued products, any combinations of your products. So again, is that window available in blue? I don't know. With that said, once they click that refresh button, it guarantees that every single one of your reps is selling with the absolute most up-to-date details, and you never have to worry about version control within the field. So what you'll notice is as I start going through this, we've really made a point to show in here that we've thought about every single possible variable in that sales equation. If you guys aren't familiar where Leap actually started, Leap was created by someone who was selling in the home. So when you think about where a lot of other, I guess, quote, competitor products are generated, it's an afterthought. You know, this was actually created out of necessity, and it's been around. What most people don't realize, that Leap has been around for like 6+ years. You know, it's only been a standalone company for 2, but it lived within a home improvement company that had 40 to 50 sales reps in the field in 3 different locations. You know, and they tested Leap every single day using the system with notepads saying, hey, that was a pain in the butt, we should fix that. Oh, hey, I ran into an error here. Ooh, I think this would be better if we did it this way. For 6 years. So you're talking tens of thousands of interactions with customers to get this thing straight. So there is literally not a single product that has had as much testing as Leap has in the field. So as we go through, again, now we've gotten ourselves to that home. We're sitting at the kitchen table. I can pull up in our resources tab every one of my brochures in a digital format that when reading it, it's showing up on your iPad on a retina display. It's gorgeous, it's all high res. I can flip through it just like a book on my Kindle. I can also embed any videos that I might have, any Eagle View or Hover reports that I want to use for that home. I can also start talking to that person using my sales presentation. Hey, this is why you want to go with our company. This is what sets us apart from everyone else. It is slick. Down at the bottom, you can also see we can even add before and after photos. So at that point, you can say, hey, you want to see some examples of what we did to your neighbor's home? Yeah, keep up with them. So from there, you got to have tools. You know, you got to have these other ways in which you can integrate digital estimates, etc. Like, you know, sales reps are not all created equal. Some are really good at measuring, some are really good at selling. It's pretty hard to find that unicorn that can do all of the above. So with this, it just, again, removes all opportunities and possibilities for mistakes to be made. Because at the end of the day, for everyone on this webinar, a mistake does nothing more than cost you money. So if we've figured out a way to mitigate every possible mistake from being made, granted, salespeople are salespeople. They're going to find a loophole. We always joke around and say salespeople are like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park. You know, they're going to test every inch of the fence to find the gap. But we've tried to mitigate those and make them as small as possible. Again, this is basically just another view to show, hey, I've got a measure sheet. Those tools like Hover and Eagle View, you can pull the digital measurements and aim them directly at these. So I can create, and this goes back to how we can create custom views for every product type you sell. So if you sell roofing, cool, we've got a view for that. You sell windows, great, we got a view for that where you can bracket everything out into United Inches. It's really cool, add all your upcharges. And then we've even got views for like kitchens and bathrooms that are a lot more one-off and bespoke. So there's a ton of really powerful ways in which you can use these special views we've created to sell literally any product. And we've got customers for days that do that. So we've got tons of examples to show you as well if you're interested in learning more. As we move forward, contracts. You guys, so many folks, I think the statistic right now is that over 55% of companies are still using paper for contracts. It's insane. It's 2019. You know, paper contracts are not customized. These are everything that I do when building an estimate directly feeds your contracts. So your reps are never having to enter things in twice. And when I'm ready to go, not only can I sign this with my finger on the iPad, let's say you run into a one-legger where it's the husband and wife, but one of them's not there. Great. I can turn this doc into a DocuSign and email it to him to sign remotely. All of that can be done directly in Leap. So you can either e-sign it with your finger or email it out with a digital signature. We can also, as Adam mentioned, sync back up. You know, one of the common threads that we hear from any one of our customers or any one of our prospective customers is, I hate waiting to know what the hell happened in the field. You know, your reps are out there sometimes running days worth of leads before they come back in on Monday with either signed contracts or excuses. So when they come back into the office, you're sitting there going, well, what happened? Oh, you know, they didn't show up, or, you know, I didn't get it. They were just window shopping, etc. Pun intended. So one of the things that you can do is you can get immediate resulting of your leads the second they leave that door. You know, while they're sitting in the truck, they can go back out there and say, I either sold it or I didn't. All of these are fields that exist within JobNimbus. So it's really easy for you guys to go back and get very clear updates on, did you sell it or did you not? If you didn't, why? If you did you use financing? How much did you sell it for? It can automatically calculate the par price for that job. You can even go in with your specific and custom commission formulas, and you can put those in. So a rep can literally sit in the truck and go, oh my God, if everything goes well, that deal I just sold, $2,000 in my pocket. Happy day, I'm pumped. And then lastly, you can even include the notes to understand what happened. If there's something that production needs to know down the line, great, tell them. This is designed to seamlessly take the lead in, sell the job, and then seamlessly transition this off to your production teams to get that job installed and complete the sale. All of that is completely meaningless if it doesn't communicate with JobNimbus. The beautiful thing of this, everything does. So as we go back, the other thing we need to know too is I need to know what to order. Leap can take what you've sold and give you this very clear, concise summary of what you need to order and save that back to the lead record in JobNimbus. It's awesome. From there, this is another thing, you guys. Oftentimes, and I use the example of what happened in the home. The cool thing about technology is technology allows you to get data you never thought existed. Unless you're shadowing one of your reps, you have absolutely no idea what happened in that home. When you use Leap, or when one of your sales reps use Leap, you have an idea of what they're doing every time they touch the screen. So at a high level, and this is kind of just a little teaser, if you will, at a high level, I can look at this and say, did they show up on time? How long did they take in the home? Did they sell it? Did they not? Did they send a proposal? Was there a spouse? How much did they quote them? Did they use financing? But then I can also see every single thing they do throughout the entire duration of the appointment. This data is unbelievable. So when you ask yourself the question, and again, giving you a little bit of background on where I come from professionally, I come from the tech space specifically in predictive analytics. So when you look at what I can do with this kind of data, it's unbelievable. You ask yourself the question, I've got a team of 10. How do I train them and how do I get them better at closing? It's really easy. You just look and see what's indicative of success or failure. And if one of the activities doesn't look like the other, there's your problem. It's really neat to see that when you layer reps side by side and see how they spend their time in the home. So last thing is I really just want to reiterate with all of this, and again, I went through real quick. If you look on the left-hand side in green where it says Leap, actually, I'll go back one real quick slide because this is actually what it looks like within the app itself. You can set estimates, you can do your contracts, proposals. All of these things can be customized specifically to your business. There really isn't an out-of-box solution for Leap because it's your companies are not out of the box. Each of you have your own special sauce that allows us to really build the tool around your needs. So when we do onboarding, we also assign you a dedicated person to walk you through the build. It's very cool. Everything in here is totally custom. So all of the stuff on the left-hand side, you can see you can apply for credit on site and get decisions. We integrate with a bunch of different lenders, Green Sky, Fortiva Financial, Foundation Financial, as well as Service Finance. By the end of the year, that will actually probably double in size. Obviously don't want to sell anyone on something that's not fully built out yet, but we already have partners that we're going through the security settings on. Yay, banking. But the cool thing is we have direct integration to get credit applications on site as well with decisions. So long story short, like Adam mentioned, this tool is really equipped to give your sales reps every possible weapon in the field they need to go to battle when selling this stuff with homeowners. So without further ado, I want to open this up for questions. Again, if we were to take this webinar and gear it specifically toward demos of both products, you guys would be here for 2 hours. So the push out of all of this, I really want to reiterate, is if you're at all curious about either system, it really behooves you, and it's just doing your business a service. Take the hour, go through a demo. What's it going to hurt? It's going to give you every possible detail you could ever want. So we'll show you the links to do that in just a second, but more importantly, like pun intended, take the leap, whether with JobNimbus or whether with Leap or both. You guys really should see exactly what it can do because it is very cool. So I'm going to shut up again. I want to turn this over to you guys. We're going to start ripping through some of the questions. So take a couple seconds. If you really have something burning, throw it in the question section. Like again, we're gonna, while you guys write that stuff, we're gonna start working our way down the list. We'll kind of start from the top and we'll go from there. Let's see here. All right, so we had a couple folks ask, how do contracts work? So the contracts are really simple. In Leap, the way it works is we create a template for every type of job that you would do. So if you sell windows, there's a window template. If there's a roofing template, or excuse me, if you sell roofing, there's a roofing template. Every job should have that because the second you start using blanket contracts, it just opens up that sales process for some sort of fallout. We saw that really, really specifically when it came to selling things like roofing to homeowners associations or to condo associations, where they say you can only use this one type. And oftentimes the salesperson would go in and say, hey, I've got the best roof for you. It's got an amazing warranty. It's transferable. It's this and that, top of the line. And then they start reading through the blanket uniform paper contract and they go, well, what about this platinum warranty over here? And they go, oh, well, yeah, about that. Your homeowners association won't let you use it. Sorry. You then have to go back and explain why you didn't start with that, et cetera. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do with that. It also is going to be custom built, so it has your watermarks, all that stuff. All of it, again, pushes back to JobNimbus and saves it to that lead record. The next one, I just do commercial roofing. Is this more geared toward residential? Leap, being totally candid, yeah, it probably would be geared more toward residential. Commercial has its own unique process in that you're typically taking the blueprints of a building and then putting in bids for the jobs. That transactional interaction between that person isn't necessarily taking place face-to-face in the same way. So oftentimes we find that when our companies balance commercial and residential, they use Leap. When they don't, and they're a lot heavier on the commercial side, they don't for that side of the business. All right, keep rocking through. Does JobNimbus convert the contracts created by Leap to a materials list? Adam, do you guys want to take this one, or I mean, I can take it as well.
Yeah, why don't you, well, let's see. So does it take, what ends up happening is we'll push in the report from Leap, and then what it currently does, the integration would need to be manually transitioned into a material order. We have an integration with Beacon Roofing Supply, so you can order directly from them if you have a Beacon Pro Plus account. Otherwise, you can create a generic material order based off of the report or the estimate that that comes from Leap, and you can email it to your distributor.
Yeah, this view that we're looking at right here, you guys, anytime you sell a job, you can get a summary list. When you talk about the difference of using a digital version of that versus a paper version, in this, we find that any one of our companies that use these specifically for their ordering, having it in a digital format just really ensures that you're not dealing with any sort of like physician handwriting of like, is that a 10 or is that a 70? One mistake along those lines, just because you can't read the sales rep's handwriting, major difference in potential loss. So the good thing is when this specific result sheet gets pushed back into JobNimbus, you'll have a digital copy that you can then QC and manually enter in so that you make sure that you're ordering only the right measurements. All right, moving along. It says, why isn't there an auto refresh? It actually does auto refresh. So like I mentioned in that top screen, up in the top left, that little refresh button, that actually will, once you're attached to Wi-Fi, it will actually sync up anything. That's just a habit that we've created. It's almost like a Pavlovian pattern that we designed into the system just so reps are constantly doing that. So that they can pull in their appointments for any given time. It's a way for us to make sure that we're controlling what versions they're selling with. The next one is it only available for iPad? Yes. And while some people think that's a bad thing, it's not. There's a major difference between the iTunes Store and Google Play. And when you look at the two, Google Play is actually open source. So unfortunately, what you find when you're dealing with an open source system is an open source system doesn't really have the quality control that Apple's does. So when you talk about data security for your company, when you also talk about quality control for the app itself, it allows us to really tightly monitor that stuff. As well too, iPads just have a bigger market share. It's like 70%. And then on top of that too, the battery life is that much better. So again, when you use it on a Kindle versus using it on Samsung versus using it on any other device that's out there, the problem that you're going to run into is there's just too much variability between manufacturers. Apple, on the other hand, is rock solid and consistent every single time. So that's why we chose specifically to go with the iOS platform. The last thing I'll say too is I'm sure each one of you have sales reps that vary in age and technical ability. If you hand your grandparent an iPhone, they can figure it out. If you hand them an Android, oftentimes it's getting thrown against the wall and they're going to demand buttons. So we found that the adoption rate for using an iOS device way higher, especially when you have those folks that are either really good with technology or, hey, what's this button do? It plays to both really, really well. All right, moving along. Is Leap more of an inventory tracker or what? Leap is absolutely not an inventory tracker. It's a sales tool. So again, this is what would be in the hands of every one of your sales reps in the field interacting with any one of your homeowners. It's literally how every single sales appointment is run. And then next one, how do you pull from multiple vendors? For example, is one product available from multiple vendors? Yeah, what we do is you can actually create packages. So it's something that's probably a little bit more complicated that would be easier to show in a demo, but the long and the short of it is you can pull in pricing from any manufacturer that you carry along with any combination of products. So if you carry 5 different window manufacturers or 5 different shingle manufacturers, great. The measurement's going to be the same. It's the same hole in the wall and it's the same square of roof. Guess what? All you just need is to choose the manufacturer and it'll pull up the price relative to that item. We can easily show you guys that stuff on a demo. How technical should my questions get now? Get as nerdy as you want, folks. We've got some smart people on here, but if you're really looking for more of the deep integration questions, let's schedule a call on the side and we'll show you that stuff on the back end. Can you give a brief rundown on the process for building items into the database for estimate items to use when building your estimate? Yes. So the way it works is every single one of you most likely has some sort of Excel sheet where you manage your products, you manage your pricing, all of that stuff. So what Leap does is we can actually take that and we'll work with you guys and train you on how to format it. That way, when it goes to put back in the system, you have access to all of that stuff and it shows up in the way that we need it to in order for Leap to be functional. So that was a really roundabout way of saying we have a dedicated human being when you sign up that's assigned to you and only you. So at that point, well, they have other people, but they're only going to be working with you rather than any one of our other staff jumping in to help. The reason being is they need to know your business intimately to help show you best practices along the way. So you work with that individual to slowly build brick by brick the castle that would be your instance of Leap in production. So that's where we would typically go through the pricing and products with you guys. What's next? Can we put pictures on the Leap proposal? Absolutely. It's built into an iPad. iPads have cameras. All of those pictures then push back to JobNimbus and save to the actual file itself. So it's not duplicating everything, it's just saving it back to the record itself. What next? Is there an integration for other materials other than roofing? There are. So we work with a lot of manufacturers as well. If you want to know the main list of those, because it's a big list, some of those manufacturers have even gone as far as digitizing the products for you. So you don't actually have to do all the heavy data entry. There's actually a lot of really cool partnerships we have, including, like I said, there's some others on the actual call today. So how much does it cost? It all depends on your company. We work with, it's a subscription-based software. So again, when you take a look at exactly what it is, we're gonna dive in, learn your business, and then at that point, see exactly how many licenses you need. We can easily get to it. There's a big range from, we have companies with over 200 reps, and we have some companies that are just owner operator. So there's a big range from this. Again, I could give you that, you know, it's going to range somewhere between $50 a user and $100 a user. It all depends on where you're at. Next, with JobNimbus, Adam, do you want to also comment too on how you guys do your pricing?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a per user per month pricing model, and it also depends on features and functions that you need. You can get started with JobNimbus for as low as $25 per user per month. That goes up to $35 with a little bit added functionality like QuickBooks Sync and so on. And then finally, there's a $75 tier, our advanced tier, that gives you a little bit more hand-holding, higher degree of support, et cetera. So again, similar to Leap, it's probably worth having a conversation with us and we can figure out what package makes the most sense for you. But again, super cheap. You can get on board with all of that horsepower for as low as $25 per month per user.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to mention to you guys too, this is a perfect segue into really talking a little bit more about next steps. There's a lot of questions in here, so we'll try and get to a little bit more in a sec. But the one thing I wanted to note, and this is kind of talking about next steps here, if you guys are actively looking to work with either platform, feel free to dive in. We'd love for you to go to both of our sites. Again, you can go to jobnimbus.com/demo if you're looking to get a dedicated demo of the actual software for JobNimbus. See if it's a good fit for your company. Again, their staff is highly trained to learn your business and then also understand whether or not it's going to be the right fit. Same on our side with leaptodigital.com/JobNimbus. That's our partner page for this partnership. So should you want to see a little bit deeper dive of Leap, jump to that. The one thing I will say, we're also offering as like a, yay, we're partnered and it's going to be the coolest thing ever. If you guys are actively looking to sign up with JobNimbus, they're also talking about giving you guys $1,000 off. As well too, if you were to sign up with Leap as a new customer, we're happy to give you $1,000 off your setup fee, which is normally $2,500. So again, automatically just for being here and we're really pumped with this this partnership. It's $1,000 off on both ends of the or both sides of the pond, should you decide to become a new customer. So. Any last minute questions before we wrap this up? Or Adam, is there anything else you guys want to make sure that we cover today?
Yeah, let me just throw this out there to clarify. So one thing, so there was a little confusion there. So we aren't offering $1,000 off, at least on JobNimbus. We feel like the value is there and it is really affordable. But what I will say is all of you have the opportunity to try it out for yourselves. We offer a 14-day free trial. Doesn't require any sort of a credit card entry or anything like that. No strings attached. Go in and play with it. No limits to what you're able to do within the platform, and see for yourself if it works for you. We're happy to help you out with any questions that you have as well as you go through that process. So go give it a try and let's talk some more.
Awesome. So what we'll do, you guys, is I know there's a ton more questions in here. With this, we are actually planning on reaching out to each and every one of you individually. Should you have any issues whatsoever getting response or anything, which you won't, I promise, we will, or we do have the ability for you to go into our websites, either jobnimbus.com/demo or leaptodigital.com. You can always reach out to the Leap team at info@leaptodigital.com. And you guys can always ask any of the questions that you need. So with that said, thank you guys so much for joining. Again, we will reach out to each and every one of you guys individually and answer your questions, as well as just follow up and see if this is a good fit and try and get a demo scheduled for you. So without further ado, thank you so much to the JobNimbus team for joining us today. Adam, we're really pumped on this partnership. For everyone that joined, again, thank you for taking the time out of your day. We're so thrilled, and this is honestly going to be just a power couple to the max. So we're really looking forward to next steps. Really looking forward to speaking with each and every one of you, and excited to show you a little bit more about what both systems can offer. So thanks again for joining, you guys. We'll also be sharing out any of the recording for this demo to anyone that happened to attend. So if you weren't able to attend today, don't stress. You'll hear me say this once you get through all 45 minutes of the actual video. And thank you again. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Awesome.